Okay, this question, algebraic fractions, just like we do every time with these questions. Draw in the upside down inboard. And then remember, everything that's linked, you multiply together. So here, that 5 goes up there. We're multiplying everything on top. So remember, because we're multiplying everything on top, we put in brackets. If you want to start off to help yourself, some people like to put the brackets in to start with, so they know they're all locked in like that. That's fine. You've got add, because you've got add in the middle. And 2 multiplied by 7x minus 10. All over 2 times 5. And that's equals 4. Don't worry about the 4 for now, just put it there for now, okay? Then what we do is we expand all the brackets. So we do 5 times 4x is 20x. 5 times minus 5, care for the negatives, is minus 25. 2 times 7x is 14x. And finally 2 times minus 10 is minus 20. All over 2 times 5 is 10. And again, it equals 4. Okay?
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Is the world steps around? Yeah. Lunchtime, can you see Miss Sally, please? Yeah, start at lunch, cheers.
Oh, wait, sir.
Yeah?
I can't see the writing stuff. So I'll just see like half of it.
What you want to do at the start? Do your best to get at the start, please, okay? Cheers, sir.
Okay, so we've got 20x and 14x. We're going to collect the like terms together. So put the x's together first. 20x and 14x is 34x. Minus 25 and minus 20. Put two negatives together, they get more negative, don't they? So it'll be minus, or take away 45, over 10 equals 4. So now what we've done, we've got rid, combined those two fractions into one. And what we do now is we just solve the equation. Okay? Just as we do every other equation. First of all, we want to make sure we got the x on its own. So this divided by 10 is blocking us from doing that. So we're going to multiply this whole side by 10. And balancing equations, multiply both sides by the same. So these will cancel out, leaving us this 34x minus 45 equals 4 times 10 is 40. Again, same as before, we're going to get rid of the minus 45. So we add it, and we add it. So we end up with 34x on its own equals 85. And these look like big numbers, but remember it's a calculator paper, so don't worry. And the next bit then, we're dividing by 34 on both sides. So they will cancel out, and we divided by 34 because that was 34 times x. So we had times 34, so to get rid of it, we divide by 34. On your calculator, see if it comes up to a nice number. So 85 divided by 34, on the screen is 5 over 2, so you can have 5 over 2 or 2.5. Okay, remember it's a calculator paper, so just tap it in and see if it comes up with a nicer number for you. Okay.
So how do you not do it x minus
I said I get you 2 marks to get to that bit, then we have got 3 marks maybe to get to this bit where you simplified it slightly there, and then 1 mark, and then 4 marks to the final bit. But 2 marks just to get that far, okay? So that's me. On these sort of questions, the algebraic fractions question, it's a little bit about getting the marks you can. I think the reason why people think these are more complicated questions is because they got the fractions in, okay?
Sorry, could I take?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So
Sorry
they look a little bit complicated because they got the fractions in. But every step we do is just straightforward what you would do if you were adding or subtracting any fractions at this point. And when you get to this point here, then we're just solving an equation. So there's 2 things everyone's confident doing. And you can all do that. It's just making sure that you keep your head and have a go at it. Okay, but get as far as you can. Okay? Okay. Alright, so this question is asking us that a ship sails from port A, so by here, on a bearing of 055. Okay, so that's on the diagram. So everything on the diagram so far, and it goes to port B, which is 90 kilometers to the east of A. So it's not saying that this length is 90 kilometers, Because if north is that way, then east is that way. So we're saying that is 90 kilometers away from there. Okay? So that's just me reading the question, just drawing in lines just to help me see what's happening. Okay? Then it says that once it gets to B, it sails on a bearing of 067. So remember, bearings, clockwise, from north, and 3 digits. So if that's north there, it's going to sail 67 degrees that direction. It's 67 because the bearing here is 067. So remember, when bearing is, you start at that point, and because the bearing is 067, we're turning an angle of 67 degrees from north clockwise. Okay? So that's why that angle there, the turn-in, is 67 degrees. And it's going 70 kilometers this way then until it reaches C. And what the question is asking is how far to the east of port A is port C. So it doesn't want to know the distance from A to C. What it's asking for is this full distance across here. Don't worry about drawing this in, I'm just showing you on the board, okay? Okay, so we've got this bit of it. We need to find out this length, don't we? So how can we find that length? Well, the way I did it is I looked at this and I made this part of the shape a triangle. So now I know that this here is a right angle triangle. I know an angle, I know one of the sides. So I've got a question with angles and sides and I'm trying to work out another side. So what am I going to use? Okay, so I'm going to use trigonometry, SOHCAHTOA to work it out. God, you don't speak when the camera's on. Okay. So I'm going to put it show you again. Okay. Now some people might think that's a lot of like lines on the diagram. I'm a bit confused what I'm trying to work out. Okay, but if you can see that there, that we've got the triangle at the top. So here's a triangle we're working out. What I sometimes do is underneath it to work it out, I just draw it again, just so I can keep it all together. I know what I'm doing then. And working out which side I'm working out, I'm working out this side. So like before, I just shove an X on. Don't need to, it's just the way I do it. Alright, so we've got a triangle, a right angle triangle. We know it's right angled, because if it's going clockwise from north, that's going to be a straight line. And it's going to go across, so east is 90 degrees from north, isn't it? Okay. Label the sides. That's opposite at angle. Draw the line in if you're not sure. Draw the arrow in pointing towards it. Opposite the hypotenuse. Sorry, opposite the right angle is hypotenuse. And the one we don't need at the moment is adjacent. If it helps, draw your 3 triangles out. SOHCAHTOA. Now what you do is you look at your triangle and you tick what you know. We know the hypotenuse, and you tick what you're trying to find. We're trying to find this side, which is the opposite, so we tick the opposites. The triangle I want to use then is the one with 2 ticks on it. Okay? So this triangle is saying sine of the angle, so you can make it bigger if you want. You might have a different way of doing this, I'm just showing you a method, okay? So that's sine of the angle. Instead of S, we'd say sine of the angle, which is 67. Instead of the H, the hypotenuse, is 70. And the opposite, the O, is going to be our value of X. And the reason I use that triangle is because what you do, like you probably do in physics a lot as well, is you cover what you're trying to find. And the calculation then, X equals sine 67 times 70. Remember, on your calculator, you've got to make sure you include the brackets, especially when you're using this method. So sine 67, close the brackets, times 70. We'll give you the value of X is 64.435, 33.74. Alright, so that here, 64.4, is our value, our line across there. If that's 64.4 there, what's this length underneath it? So if you look, that length is exactly the same as that length, isn't it? So 64.4. So our total length east of A is 90 at 64 by 4. It's 90, oops, add 64.4. And what I would do is you've got that answer on the screen, keep it there, just put add 90 to it. You don't have to worry about rounding or getting any errors from rounding. And write that answer down. Okay, so here, it doesn't say again to round it. So like before, you can if you want to. But you don't get any marks for it. So it's up to you. Okay? Sorry, I'll leave you there for a bit then, okay?